So, hey guys, I'm just all weird this morning and I'm just going to ramble on about my little life, I guess, because I'm in a transition phase of being, you know, a cat owner to totally single. Right now I have no kids, I have no cat, I have no pet. I have a big fly in here. There's a big fat freaking fly. This thing is literally this big and he's heavy. I mean, I feel like I could pet this fly. It's so big. Maybe I should adopt him. Maybe it's Shadow in a fly. So I'm just going to have coffee talk with you all because that's how crazy I feel. I don't have, this is my connection to reality. I'm not wearing a bra, so you NBA guys, you can actually see my nip through this sweater. See? I noticed that hardly anybody watches my YouTube videos anymore because there's not enough nip action on there, The only ones who really like those videos were the girls who watched my skincare and the guys once I started with the whole NBA thing, and now that that's all moved to Vimeo, it's all about, what's she going to show, what's she going to show. Some of you guys like listening to me talk. I love you guys, especially those guys. You're the best. Here's some crystal action. I just think this crystal is amazing. Every day it amazes me more. And when I feel really down, I reach for it, and there it is. And I wear it every day, so it's always there because it reminds me that I accomplished my goal, which is to come to the planet to find my crystal, which was not easy, very challenging. Nobody comes to the earth to find a crystal because that's just crazy talk, That's just insanity, obviously. No normal, sensible person would talk about coming to the planet to find a crystal. But it's true. And after Atlantis, when that whole place blew up, which was one of the biggest crimes in the universe, 11,000 years ago. After that, I've been searching for this piece of Atlantis somewhere because Atlantis was buried deep, and not only that, it was on a different dimension, so it was even harder to find. We don't find remnants of Atlantis because it was on the fifth dimension. It was a different kind of place. I was just listening to this thing from the Galactics, the Pleiadians, and about time, and about how on one planet you can have different levels of time, different dimensions of time, and that there's portals located in different places where you can enter in and go through and around and go to different periods of time, and that's how time travel works. And that's why, well, two different things. One is when we go to another planet, like Venus, for example, where we see no sentient life, there are beings existing. There is life on Venus, but it's in a different time portal that we can't see with our naked eye because we are in this dimension. But if we were in a different dimension, we could see it. And also, you have to get through the portal. So, and portals are interesting and located in different places and during different periods of time. There's 3 portals. One's in Tibet, and they're all in like faraway places that we don't really normally go to, regular Western society. They're like in the Himalayas, and there's 3 main ones. And there's these crystal skulls that are kept near the portals so they can transfer, because the skull has all this knowledge and memory and information in it in the form of the crystal, because the crystal holds knowledge. And, we're all so stuck in our 3D mind. We don't get any of this. It all seems like voodoo crazy talk. But when you get expanded and when you get enlightened lightened up, your conscious mind can travel to other dimensions, and it makes sense. You can make sense of it, which is where I'm at right now. I can go into these other dimensions. So there's the timekeepers and the time lords, I guess, if you will, who kind of control time, and they set time, and they set the time clocks, which were at one time set by the sun and the moon on this planet. Then, with the advent of electricity, time changed because suddenly we could be awake at night and experience time in a different way with more consciousness because we were awake at night with light at night where it used to be dark and just ruled by the moon and the stars. So suddenly there's light. Now we can expand our consciousness into more space because of the light. So the light changes it, electricity, the computer changes it. Something is made at one time, but you can watch it at any other time if it's recorded in this moment, and then it's accessed at other times. So that changes time too. And you can bend time. And if you're running late, you can actually ask for more time and get more time in real life. You can do that. I do it all the time, constantly. I have a good relationship with the timekeepers. Thank you, God. I have good relationship. I'm not thanking God because God, that term God is cursed. Do not pray to God. Do not say God this, God that. Just get rid of G-O-D. Toss it. Because if you say that word, G-O-D, all the time, you'll bring bad things to yourself. Seriously, mark my words. Just find some other thing to say. Say spirit. Say anything but the word G-O-D. So the Time Lords, the timekeepers, control time, and they put time locks on things so that they're set at the way they were, the way they happened. They can be altered. You can go back in time and alter things. You know, these movies about traveling in time, that stuff can happen. We're doing it ourselves. We're here now doing it. We don't even realize what we're doing because when we come to this planet in 3D, the way it's been, the locks are around the consciousness. We can't really see any of the stuff I'm talking about. But some of us can get to those places where we can comprehend that. Like, I've been listening to this woman named Teal Scott. She's this very young, beautiful girl who is a psychic healer, and she time travels. She's from the 7th dimension, I think, and she understands about all the dimensions and everything. And she doesn't see our beings as separated the way we see them on this planet. She sees everything connected with energy. When she looks with her eyes at the world around her on this planet, she sees energy between everything that connects everything, and that's normal for her. She doesn't see all this space between stuff. She thinks that's scary, and it is scary to me too. So the thing about time is very interesting. I'm intrigued by it, and I like to study it, and I like to learn about it because it's such a weird concept, and we manage our entire lifetimes around time, and yet time is a construct that's designed for different purposes and exists in different ways in different parts of the universe. For example, linear time only exists on this planet. Everything is happening at the same time off the planet in the other realms of experience, of existence. Now we, as human beings, can't conceive of that because it's just too, we're in our little body. We're teeny tiny little creatures walking around this planet. And in order to focus here and to be here now, we have to have this idea of time as an illusion that's limited and it's linear. But it's not like that. It's really not. It's totally different than that. It's just hard to break out of the 3D linear time construct and see further than that, but it can be done. I do it all the time. I've done it. I do it. I'm doing it now. One thing that was exciting about listening to Teal Scott last night is that there was an interview with her. Teal Scott, Tealscott, if you want to look her up. She's beautiful. This young girl went through a really interesting hard life, and now she's this interesting healer woman who's beautiful, speaks very simply about everything. So what was fun for me about listening to her last night was that this guy who interviewed her asked her about politics, which she says she loves, and he asked her about Obama, and she said exactly the same thing that I said. She says that the psychics, the healers, the higher beings, the Buddhas and the Jesuses of this time, they see him as exactly the way I see him, stuck between a rock and a hard place. She said the same thing I said, that when he got into office, he was faced with the reality, which he was instantly threatened with his family, which is what I knew that. because I receive those informations regularly. I receive all kinds of information. That's why I spend so much time alone. That's because then you're quiet, and then you don't have to interact with people in front of you. You're alone, so you can receive. If you seek, you shall find, and all the information will come to you. You just have to go into it and ask for it. It does come. Ask for your crystal and go get it. It'll come to you. You just have to put that out there, and that helps. But anyway, you can do it without the crystal. It's just really nice to have this crystal. So she said the same thing, that he got into office and had a gun to his head instantly and believes that his family is in danger. And that's why he's trying to just stay alive and negotiate this position that he's in as best he can. So I knew it was true on my own, but it was just validating to have her say that too. And that all of the enlightened ones, these higher beings, these ascended masters, see him in that same light. So, yeah, I was thinking about the cat and all, and about, everyone's telling me to go bury her. That is the normal thing. I don't know why I have a resistance to it. Not all of me, just part of me. I have 12 sub-personalities ruling this show here, so, I'm going to have a lot of different thoughts about a lot of different things. And I feel very strongly that I need to have a part of her fur. I need it for my real, because this life is getting weirder and weirder to me as my mind and my consciousness expands out into the other universe. And I can be a conduit in a way for that information and to share it. Because I am in a human body, and we have the internet, and I have my magic crystal, and I have my magic breasts, and I can speak English, which is the universal language right now on this planet. And so just viewing the crystal, I believe, and the magical breasts is going to help raise your consciousness. Not just your boner, but your consciousness. Haha, little joke. But the boner is important too. Anyway, raising the consciousness, the awareness, because we all suffer down here on this planet. We suffer. We deal with this body that ages. Nobody likes it. It's horrible. And we get older. We have to make a living. And if we're not wealthy when we're old, then we're screwed with this unfortunate situation of withering away and not having enough money to do it comfortably. It's a very, very sad position to be in. Very, very challenging, very difficult. I'm sorry for you all. I'm sorry for myself and my mother and my family and everyone I know, that all of us here stuck on this planet going through this. It's a crazy ride. It's a crazy ride. It's going to end. That's a blessing and a curse. It's like we think it's a curse that our life's going to end. We live with that hanging over our heads every day like it's a bad thing. But really, don't be upset about that, because on one hand, thank God you get a reason to get off the planet. You do not have to stay in this misery all the time. You will get off. Just know that. So in that respect, just be happy that you will get off the planet. You might be afraid of how you get off the planet, but you're getting off. So don't worry. This is not going to last forever. On the other hand, your spirit will last forever. Energy doesn't die. That's a proven fact. It transforms. It doesn't die. You're not going to die. Your body's going to die, but you're not going to die. So that concept is weird. All of this is weird. Everything on this planet is a freak show. Really, it's a weird place. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's amazingly beautiful. We're the ones who screw it up. Our society is what makes it so awful here. It's not the world itself. It's not the planet. The planet is a place of incredible beauty. Look at the stuff it's got, Look at that sunshine on the water. It's incredible. Very, very beautiful. We're the ones screwing it up because of the way we designed this game that we play. We designed this game. We don't realize that. We don't want to own that at all. Who would? Who would want to admit that they were in charge of this psycho school of hard knocks, But the truth is we are responsible for it. We just don't really want to admit that because no one wants to think they made up a bad game. When you die, your moment of death is going to feel so freaking euphoric that you are going to be so high on that moment, you're going to want to come back and do it all over again, because that moment is going to beat out all the misery you went through to get there. You're going to live this, what seems like this long belabored life to get to this moment of death that you think you fear. Then when you have that moment of death, it's like, oh my God, this is frigging awesome. So awesome that you want to go back again. I mean, that's how awesome it actually is. So don't be afraid of your death. I say that in my videos a lot. The death moment is the really the best moment. It's the reason that we came here. Everything is a lie on this planet. It's all backwards. It's all messed up. I could give you every example of how everything we're taught is wrong. It's all false. We're taught that we die. We don't die. Our bodies die only because of the way we design the game. But the religions are wrong. They're false. They're flawed. They're full of shit. And we believe them so hardcore. So much belief in these religions. And when you get to that point where you see the religions for what they really are, you're like, how could people believe in those religions? How could we believe in this crap? I'm not saying that Jesus is not an ascended master. He won the game. He's one of the few that could win this friggin' game. He designed it, and he's still got everybody following him. But everyone's believing it the wrong way. No one's getting it. No one's understanding what he said. Everything he said is twisted. He said, you're a master, you're a god, you can do it. You can do it on your side. You can do better than me. But we were all caught up into this humble thing. Be humble and be meek and all this crap. And we buy it all. It's just shocking, really. This thing with the priests and the Catholics, they fuck us over. They steal our money. They have all the money. They're all gay in there. Why do you think they wear those big long robes? They're hiding themselves. They're hiding who they are. And this pretense of being priests, it's such a joke. And we buy it. Everybody believes it. It's just fuck. Really. I was a priest. I've been in the Catholic Church hundreds of years ago. I was in that game. I know all about it. Please, people, you have to get into yourself. You and me. We have to get into ourselves. Okay, that's what we're trying to do here. Just go inward. I know everyone says it. It seems it's the opposite. Everything, just pretty much almost your philosophy should just be go with the opposite of what you're told, and then you're gonna find the truth. Don't you think it's interesting that we're on this planet and no one knows the truth? No one does. The hardcore Christians think that Jesus is the truth. I mean, it's funny how they believe that so strongly. It's actually amazing. That's because Jesus, whose name is really a totally different name, he sometimes I wonder, but I mean, yeah, sure, Christ consciousness, okay, the heart energy, yeah, okay, I get that, I buy that. But then there's this part of me that thinks that he just controlled this whole thing. He's really the bad one. That movie with Ewan McGregor, and he plays this priest, and everybody loves him so much, and then he turns out to be like the bad one, Think about that movie. There's so many symbols in the movies that we see that we think are just movies, but they actually are telling real stories, but we're so busy believing in lies. This whole planet is a lie. This stuff is a lie. This stuff is fake. It's a matrix. It's a hologram. I might sound crazy. I don't even care. Because who's really crazy is everybody on the planet. When I walk this planet, I think, wow, people, this is the planet of nuts. This is where we come to experience our craziness. Cuckoo. Think about it. Most of us are on drugs. We're addicted to something. Who can blame us? We need to drink and smoke to cope with this foolery, this tomfoolery, where we bought into fear, basically. This is fear factor, guys. This is fear factor. This game on Earth that we're playing, we're using the Earth to play fear factor. And we think we're living life. I sometimes just cannot wait to get off this planet. I've felt that way my whole life. I cannot wait to get off this planet. I know so many people who cannot wait to get off this planet. And yet we're taught that we're wrong for feeling like we want to get off the planet. Well, who wants to be on this planet? You have to get up. You have to go get dressed, take a shower, go to work. Most of us don't even like our jobs. Thank God I like making chocolate, but even that is laborious. I mean, it's hard work to be constantly making all this chocolate. I had to take a break. I couldn't. It's just like too much work to make tiny little pieces of chocolate that are eaten and enjoyed, but then they're gone like that. You got to make more and more and more. So, and then you got to watch your loved ones die, and you got to watch your pet die. Fun! Woo! And then you got to watch your parents die. That always sucks. Or your siblings, or your children. That's, God forbid. That does not happen, okay? I'm not having that. I just erase. We come here literally to play the game of suffering. We come here to this planet literally to test our soul on how much suffering we can stand, how many lies we are going to believe, how many lies we're going to buy into, the falsity. Can I give a gift of enlightenment here? Is there a hopeful gift? Okay, yes. Don't be afraid of death. Just be psyched about it. Do you know that when, a long time ago, people were so tired of being slaves to this planet that they started killing themselves? They started suiciding, like in masses, to get off the fucking planet. Excuse my French. And that's when the religions came in and said, you're going to go to hell if you commit suicide. It's a sin. It's a sin. It's a sin, sin, sin. So that's why everybody doesn't commit suicide. Because a whole lot of people would just be friggin' out of here. But they're afraid that it's a sin and that they're going to go to hell. And that's why they don't commit suicide. Because they're afraid. Because the religions made them fearful. Because those in charge of those religions, the religion was designed to control us so that we would continue with our slave work. Because they didn't want to do the work. So they wanted everybody else to do all the slave labor of digging for the crystals and the gold and the stuff and the building things and manipulating the game, manipulating the societies. See? Do you get that? Are you getting that? Are you understanding? My words are right. I know they're true. It's just really hard for anybody to believe it because it's just, who wants to believe it? We are designed to believe the wrong thing. It's sad. Why? Okay, is it really hard to just see the truth in a lie? It's not that hard, but when your 12 strands of DNA are shut down to 2 strands, and all your glands in your brain, which make you smart and receptive to the universal energy and the universal knowledge, when all your glands are made dormant, they don't function. You know why we die? Because the hypothalamus gland, which is in the back of our head, doesn't get the messages to rejuvenate from our pineal gland and our pituitary. Why? Because they are shut down. Why are they shut down? Because somebody shut them down. Who shut them down? According to the galactics, we chose to shut them down to keep us in the game. Because we kept popping out of the game before. We shut ourselves down so that we could stay in the game. We would literally get on the planet, start to play, like we play Monopoly, and then we'd pop out and we couldn't stay in. Our focus would go back out again because we had too much information. We couldn't stay in the game. So they shut down the parts of the human brain, the body, that was connecting us with the outer realm so that we would stay in the friggin' game. And the only reason we play is to get that moment of death because it's so freaking awesome. See? This took me a long time to get, okay? The understanding of this, it's processing. I've been absorbing this information like a mad woman all day and all night by listening to information and reading about it, listening to these videos from the galactics who are star beings, who are off the planet, who are not playing the game, who might have played the game, but are not playing it now, and those who are in a body also transmuting the knowledge, which is what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to share this knowledge about what this place is. For those of you who wonder what the fuck this place is, what is this friggin' place, this earth? The earth? Okay, but what is this society we live in? What is this body that we have that dies? It's a freak show. This is a freaky, weird world. What about my beautiful, gorgeous, incredible cat that is now gone? Now she's dead. Now everyone's telling me to bury her under a bunch of fucking daffodils and be all happy about that. And the twisted part of me, and I have to have one personality that has this twisted mind so that I can understand the twisted motherfucker that's over there in my society. I have to understand him. So part of me has to understand the twisted mind. So the twisted mind in me would say, while I'm walking out in the garden with my cute little daughter, oh, look, there's my kitty rotting under the ground. She's decaying and deteriorating with the worms and feeding these flowers. Isn't that marvelous? You know, I would say something like that. It would blurt out of me because I just know myself that well. After 51 years, I know I would say that. Could I control myself? Sure. Would I want to? Well, probably. But would I? Because the sick and twisted one of my sub-personalities is going to jump down here and say, hey, look, the kitty's rotting under the garden. Isn't that cute? You know, that's the sick part of me, okay? I have a sick side. I'm not a simple girl. This is why I'm single. Because no man is going to want to put up with a crazy